After Effects uses what is called a layered system to composite different elements on top of each other. For example, look here at these images. We have a cartoon character, a photo to use as our background, a barbecue grill, and a hamburger. To combine these images in After Effects, we need to place them in the correct order. After Effects reads the layers top down, just like you would if you printed these pictures out and put them on top of each other. If we place the background on the top of the character and the grill, then they disappear, because they are behind the background image. The same goes for if we place the grill behind the character. You can have as little as one layer or as many as several hundred layers. Now that you know how layers work, we can take a look at the real focus of After Effects. That is, properties and keyframes. Now, properties are the individual elements of a layer that we can animate. Each layer has inherent properties that have the ability to be animated. The most basic properties are the transform properties. Those are position, rotation, scale, and opacity. By manipulating these properties over time, you can make the layers move, shrink, grow, or become more transparent or opaque. The way that you make these properties change over time is by setting keyframes. Keyframes are the spots along each layer that change the value of the property when they are reached. For example, if we want the character to slide from the left side of the screen to the center, we simply set two keyframes, one when the character is on the left, and then one when he's in the middle of the screen. Let's say we want this motion to take 1 second, or 30 frames if our video is set to 30 frames per second. We will set two keyframes, one on the left, and then move 1 second later in our timeline, and then place another keyframe at him in the center of the screen. Now when we play the animation back, the program will move the character over time until he reaches the next keyframe. Think of keyframes as destinations. The character travels from one destination to another destination and does so over time, and that is the gap between the two keyframes. But we can place many more keyframes than just two. Let's say we want to make him jump when he gets there. We'll place another keyframe, let's say half a second later, move him up a little, and then place another keyframe, and then move him back down to the ground and place another keyframe. So instead of the two destinations he had, the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen, he'll now have 5 destinations. Left, right, up, down. 4 destinations. Now when we play our animation back, the character travels to all of those destinations according to the keyframes that they are set in sequence. The great thing about layers is that we can do this to each of these layers individually and make them rotate, scale, fade in, fade out over time. This combination of movements gives us animation. Now I know you're probably just itching to get into the program and start learning, but let's go through one more basic element of After Effects before we dive in. The last element you need to understand is that each of these animations you create are located in what is called a composition or comp. A comp is like an empty canvas. It's an empty timeline where you place and organize and animate your layers. This is where you will be moving around in time and placing your keyframes. Comps will also help you organize your project and simplify different aspects of animation. So now that you know what you're getting into, let's fire up After Effects and start animating.